You guys ready?
Yes, Mr. District.
All right, very good. Dr. Micahel Jackson died on June 25th, 2009. Our Major Crimes Division, under leadership of then Head Deputy Pat Dixon and current Head Deputy Gary Hernsberger, worked with the Los Angeles Police Department and the county coroner personnel to determine what had happened. The coroner ruled the death a homicide. LAPD investigators secured and then poured through evidence to see where it led. It led to Dr. Conrad Murray. After an exhaustive review of all the evidence and a consideration of the filing standards employed by this office, it was determined that Dr. Murray would be charged with involuntary manslaughter. Deputy District Attorneys David Walgren and Deborah Brazil, both veteran trial attorneys, worked closely with detectives and coroner's personnel during the lengthy investigation. They consulted with a wide variety of relevant experts. They put together a compelling case based upon competent evidence. Their presentation of the evidence in the court was superb. Deputy D.S. Walgren and Brazil exemplify the dedication, professionalism, and discipline of the prosecutors of the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Their work serves as a model for others. We're gratified the jury saw the overwhelming evidence in this case led to just one conclusion, that Dr. Murray is guilty of involuntary manslaughter in the death of Micahel Jackson. We thank the jurors for their hard work and thoughtful deliberations. We also want to acknowledge the court, Judge Pastor in particular, court personnel, bailiffs, and many others who assisted in ensuring that both sides in this case had a fair trial. Finally, we want to extend our personal sympathies to the Jackson family, especially to Prince, Paris, and Blanket. They have lost a beloved father. Nothing can make up for that loss. Now, Deputy D.S. Walgren and Brazil, like all other district attorney personnel, take their ethical obligations as prosecutors seriously. They believe that it is not appropriate for them to comment too extensively, if at all, on the trial that just was completed. They will be more available, obviously, when Conrad Murray is sentenced, and that will take place, as the judge indicated, on November 29th. With that, we'll answer any questions if we can.
Mr. DA, for those out there who say that this is a lot of effort on the part of your office with very little payoff, with AB 109, this person may not see state prison, may not even see county jail, although we've seen some today. Respond to that, the importance of this case, despite the fact you weren't going to get much time in state prison for this.
Well, it was a homicide. Someone lost their life. 3 children lost time with their father because of so much criminal negligence. So the effort in that regard was worth it just to make that point, to prove that point. But you make a point also. AB 109, the so-called realignment that will eliminate the potential for a traditional state prison sentence in state prison in this case, because this case is one of the so-called nonviolent, non-serious, non-vegetable sex offenses. AB 109 was a fool's errand. I've been speaking out against it since it was first proposed. Unfortunately, the governor, the legislature, and some others who have embraced it have gone on this fool's errand course, and this is probably the first of many, many, many poster children cases that will reveal how 109 is potentially a complete failure, a criminal justice disaster, and it will impact public safety.
To what degree was, I'm sorry, one more follow. What degree was this case a message to physicians? Because doctor shopping is an issue, particularly in Hollywood. Individuals looking for physicians to do their bidding. To what extent was this case a message to them?
It's a very strong and powerful message that this sort of conduct does rise to the level of criminal negligence, and to the extent someone dies as a result of them playing the role as Dr. Feelgood, they will be held accountable. Unfortunately, deaths from prescriptions, prescribed medications, is the #1 cause of death in the United States of America this year. It used to be automobile accidents, now it's prescribed medications. And in this particular town, Los Angeles, we see many examples of high-profile people succumbing, giving up their lives because of their addiction to prescribed medications. And they're oftentimes aided and abetted by unscrupulous and corrupt doctors. So, fair warning to them.
Mr. Holgren or Ms. Brazil make a statement, just you've been through this every day, your thoughts at this point?
The only thing I'd say at this point is I just want to thank Judge Pastor for overseeing a very fair and well-run trial. And I'd also thank, most importantly, the jury for being so conscientious in their duties. As the judge indicated in court, they were so diligent, so responsible, and punctual and respectful of the process and the system, and they did that at great sacrifice to themselves. At this point, I just thank the jury, and our sympathies go out to the Jackson family at this time for the loss that they have suffered. Not a pop icon, but a son and a brother, and I think that's most important to keep in mind today. Thank you.
Deborah?
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Cooley,
Pete?
Conrad already mentioned the notion of Dr. Murray may not do much jail time. Does the suspension of the medical license, which I think is part and parcel of any possible sentence, does that stand sort of like a smoking hole in the landscape for the medical profession and those who own a doctor's shop?
It's my understanding that a felony conviction, particularly in the context of this sort of negligence, will result in the automatic suspension of his medical license. He'll lose his medical license.
Will that be just here or in other states as well?
I would hope other states would honor California's conviction. They've all had a chance to see the consequences of the doctor's actions.
Does that
Mr.
send a
Cooley,
message,
let me
though?
ask a question.
Sure.
I have heard commentators throughout the trial talk about how this was really a medical malpractice case, but there's quite frankly a view of this evidence that fits quite nicely into a theory of second-degree murder. And then there were people, of course, Micahel Jackson fans who wanted murder. So can you talk about that decision to go with manslaughter? I understand it, but can you talk to us about it?
There is a theory of second-degree murder based upon implied malice, that the doctor's conduct was so reckless that it amounted to malice in this context. This theory of murder was examined carefully based upon the evidence gathered by LAPD and the coroner's findings. Many lawyers in our office did review that as a possible alternative, and after careful consideration, we redounded to involuntary manslaughter as the most accurate charge to characterize the doctor's misconduct. His conduct certainly was medical malpractice, but his conduct also resulted in a criminal homicide.
Steve, there have been a number of high-profile cases under your watch, obviously.
All right, we're going to continue to monitor what's going on with the prosecution team. They're explaining what's going on, but they clearly said that he would lose his medical license, ability to practice in California. Hopes other states follow suit. You saw it all unfold live here in the Situation Room. Dr. Conrad Murray led off to jail in handcuffs without bail moments after he was convicted in the death of one of the most famous performers in history.